Every week on Positives, I seem to find a game that's worse than the last week's. So you know what? Every episode that comes after this, I'm gonna stop saying this is the worst game we've ever played on the show, because I always seem to be surprised by the very next game that we play. And this game has got to be one of the worst. It's worse than Sonic 2006, worse than Sonic Boom, and worse than anything we've ever played, simply because I really feel like the game just wasn't finished. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to present this to you, but I'm gonna, only cause I have to. This is Ride to Hell Retribution. Let's try and find the positives. We usually start off these episodes by pointing out all the flaws that happen in these games. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to show you a whole bunch of just random scenes together that show how bad the game is. And whenever something doesn't happen, you're going to see this pop up. So, here we go. A huge selection of gameplay that is wrong.
All the gameplay in this is just terrible. I mean, seriously. Bad vehicle controls are just the beginning of the issues. And what the hell was that? Why did it even blow up? Oh good, Jason Voorhees is attacking me. And he seems to be as invincible as Jason Voorhees. Oh good, terrible dialogue. There's like tons of that in this game. Oh, and bad voice acting follows that too. And the gunplay? Yeah, the gunplay. Well, guess what? The gunplay is bad. Can't shoot for shit. Oh, and random sex scenes for no reason whatsoever. It's really weird and creepy. Oh, and explosions. Yeah, you'd have to be near them for them to kill you. Oh yeah, and do you think the camera's gonna help you? No, not at all. It's bad. Oh, look at this. What even is this? I don't even know what that is. Oh, look, more Jason Voorhees people. Oh my god, I hate them. I hate them so much. Oh, look, they're having sex with their clothes on. Overalls don't have holes in them, you idiots. There's nothing. What even happened there? Is that just... That was nothing. That was bad hit detection. Oh, good. Let's just kill this guy. Keep going. All right, going. Oh, this is just insane. How much can he take? Oh, it's not even stopping. It just keeps going. Oh, God. Seriously? What's going on? Why won't he die? People would die at this point. They'd be bleeding from organs. And we're still going. Oh no. For God's sakes. What is wrong with this game? Why does this game exist? Who the f*** made this game? It's a piece of shit!
Bad model work, bad textures, bad sound effects, bad gameplay, bad voice acting. This game has everything in it, and everything is wrong. This is a very strange experience. See, I think these guys were inspired by Road Rash and Full Throttle, two really amazing franchises and games. But for whatever reason, none of those aspects from those really good games came into this. This game is like somebody was designing a book and then they just forgot to write anything in the book, so they just kind of sent out a bunch of blank pages. The game has so many glaring issues, and one of the biggest ones was this whole sequence where somebody has to jump over an electric fence, but they can't do it because it's electrified, so they steal a truck, not to jump over the fence because the truck is really high, but to go to an electric dam to blow it up and cut out the power to the entire city. There's a whole section of gameplay that doesn't need to be there, and it just makes for really weird story elements. Honestly guys, this is a bad game. But let's try and find something that's good about it. And you know what? I've got one that kind of works. This game has a fairly robust and pretty expansive bike customization system. I was kind of surprised to see it because you rarely ever get to use your bike, but when you do, your bike can look hot pink with a bunch of weird designs on it, which I did for my bike, because I like pink. But this game here offered a pretty cool selection of really weird options. You can change the tires, you can change the bike, you can change the grills, pretty much everything you want to do on a bike you can customize. This is probably the biggest customization I've ever seen for any bike game. Which is funny, taking into consideration that this game sucks. But still, if you really like to customize bikes, this is a kind of game that offers that. Not good gameplay, but good bike customization, I guess. So, the very first positive is that this game has some pretty cool bike customization. Now, I imagine when they were designing this game and coming up with the story, they had this huge world kind of mapped out in their heads. And I think that's evident in the level design and kind of the background scenes of some of the cinematics. You'll see some really detailed textures, some posters and stuff up on the walls, and that kind of stuff adds to the whole realism of the world. It fails on so many ways, but the whole point was that they were trying to make a really cool universe. And even though the universe doesn't really play out that well, there is a lot of detail in the world. Lots of really well-designed art assets and textures are still here in the game, and even though they feel a little bit sloppy, there is some detail to them. For instance, in one of the cutscenes, if you look on the back of the wall, you can see a bunch of spray paint on the wall and everything that kind of signifies a local gang, and that kind of stuff is really good world building. So if you like that kind of world building stuff you get from games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and 4 and 3 and any other game that does world building really well, you're probably going to like the fact that this game has some cool posters in the back. So that's a positive. So positive number 2 is that this game has a pretty detailed world. The textures might be sloppy, the world design might be a little bit weird, and the animations might suck. But one thing this game does pretty well is it has some pretty bright atmosphere. Now, what I mean by that is there's a lot of games that offer these really kinda muddy brown looking worlds, and that's not very fun. If you've ever played a game for long enough that's a shooter, usually they stick to these very monotone colors that kind of, I don't know, get on your nerves. And if there's one thing you're going to be doing while playing these levels in this game again and again and again because the gameplay is broken, you're going to kind of be appreciative for the fact that a lot of the world in this game is very colorful and bright. It doesn't look like a dark, dungy world. Except for that whole, I don't know, airplane level, all that stuff is dark and gray. But before that, there's a lot of really cool detailed environments that have really bright atmospheres. For instance, every time you're on the motorcycle and you're driving from one point to the other, you'll see a lot of really nice greens, a blue sky, grass, stuff like that. And I know that seems like we're stretching, but that's because we are. This game offers some pretty bright graphics, and that's a cool thing, because a lot of games don't naturally do that nowadays. Especially when they're dealing with violent biker gangs. So positive number 3 is that this game has a bright and colorful atmosphere. There are games out there that you'll play that you'll absolutely hate, games that just offer no value, no nothing. And when a game is this broken, it's not giving you good gameplay. It's not even giving you a good story, not good voice acting, and very little else is good about it. But there's one thing that this game offers that I defy people to say it isn't. This game is absolutely f***ing hilarious. You gotta think about it this way. There's some really good movies out there like The Room, which isn't actually a good movie, but it's really fun to watch just because of how bad it is. This game is Room. This game is Flash Gordon. This game is all those really bad movies all combined into one experience as a video game. It's hilarious. Every time you see a cutscene and there's a glitch or an error, you laugh. Every time there's a sex scene, for whatever reason, people keep their clothes on and it looks so fake and so poor. Every time somebody does some voice acting, everything about it is wrong. And because of that, it's unbelievably hilarious to play. You're going to be playing this game and experiencing so many issues that you're just going to be laughing. You'll have no choice. It's human nature. You're going to be composed of nothing but terrible experiences from this game, of things that shouldn't be happening, and you're just going to have to laugh. Or if you don't, you just might go insane and kill a bunch of people. But I'm guaranteeing that the most people out there, like 99%, are just gonna laugh while playing this game. This is a game to experience with your friends. Buy it, invite them over, sit them down on the couch, get some popcorn, probably take up drinking alcohol, and play this game. I promise you, you're gonna laugh your ass off from the beginning to the end if you can possibly make it there. This is a very, very funny game. So positive number 4 is that this game is really funny. In the comments to every single video, we always have this one positive. Everybody says it for every single game. That's usually a disc-based game. And ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna bring out the big guns. I'm going to announce a bonus positive just for this game, one we've never done before, but I think for this game, it's kind of worth it. Ladies and gentlemen, the bonus positive for Ride to Hell Retribution is that this game can be a coaster. Yes, it's finally happened, everybody. We found a game where we needed to say this. Enjoy, revel in this. This is the stuff of legend. Ride to Hell Retribution is better suited as a coaster than it is as a video game. Good work, everybody that made the game. You deserve every moment of this. Like any game we featured on Positives, I feel like this game could have been something great. It could have been something that just surpassed what it is. And I think the developers were kind of hoping this game was going to be something really cool. There's these sequences in the game where you pick up these cards, and when you do, there's like a picture of the developers of the game on them. And I think they did that because they thought this game was going to be their success story, the game that everybody wants to play. But it turned out not to be that way because they just completely skipped the Q&A process and released a game that was just unfinished, buggy, and just wrong. But in that problem, in that issue of just making a bad game, I think they made something better. I think they made a game that's just unbelievably hilarious and fun to play because it's so bad. It's like watching a really, really bad movie. It's like reading a really bad novel that just has a bunch of errors and issues in it, and it's just so funny to see because of its problems. This game is like a performance piece of the wrong, and I think that makes it kind of worthwhile. Even though I wouldn't suggest you play a lot of the games we feature on Positives, maybe you should play this one, simply because you might enjoy it. So, if you're ever at a video game store and you see this game in the dollar bin or something like that, pick it up. You're gonna absolutely hate it, but then you're gonna love it. Hopefully. I mean, I know I did.